Hey, what's shaking, everyone? It's Captain Canuck here, and we're going to continue playing a little Kerbal Space Program. So, the last time we left off, we had just landed a probe on the moon. I was hoping to do a manned mission that one, but again, we're sort of limited by the number of parts. Just to kind of recap, we're limited at 30, and I think we're going to need more. We're going to need bigger rockets, essentially, to get us there, at least the way I do it. But we did manage to land a probe on the moon, which gave us a whole whack of science. We got 117 science, which I think we should go ahead and look at spending now, so we can sort of decide what we're going to do from there. I almost think maybe a trip to Minmus might be the way to go here. Just send another probe out there and pick up another, 100, 200 science while we're there. But if we're going to do that, I think we should look at getting a little more science. So in order to do that, if I'm not mistaken. So here's what I'm thinking. I think we need this one, which is only 18 points. We can pick that up no matter what. My reason behind that is we get a little more aerodynamics. That's okay. It's really this. I want the radio decoupler. Undeniably, we want this so we can start putting boosters on the side of our rockets for the first stage. This is almost key. So we're going to get this no matter what. So it gives us 99 points, which gets us right up to the highest. We can get one of these, or we can get both of these if we wanted it. Now, I'm not an aviation guy, so I'm not too concerned about getting this one at this point. And if I'm not going to get this, then this one's not bad either, because it's struts, which are important. We're definitely going to need struts at some point here anyways. And then we can get the decoupler for the larger rockets, which is good. So we are going to need that at some point, because what I want to do is get the larger tanks, which are here. But we need 180 to do this, because we need this, and if you're going to get the larger tanks, you need the engine to go with it, which is up here, heavy rocketry. So there's your two engines to start off there, and a big booster, which is kind of nice. So I guess what we're looking at is, let's spend the 90 we have right now. I'm going to get some more science, but the next time we do this, next thing we're aiming for is to get this, this, and this all at the same time. So it's 90, 180, 200, and whatever that is, 225. We need 225 science to research these. Okay, but then that'll be next time. That's for the future. Right now, I don't think we need any landing struts or anything. It would be nice, but we don't need these right yet. We will soon, for sure. Advanced flight control. This would be pretty good too. RCS, but again, we're sending such. Oh yeah, movers and translation. Interesting. So, I don't think I've ever used MechJeb before. I must have used the other one, and I installed MechJeb this time. Got them confused. Isn't that interesting? So, I'm learning as you guys learn. I've never used MechJeb before, but it's, essentially the same one as the last one I was using. Now I can't remember the name of the last one. Whatever, doesn't matter. So this time, I think what we need to do is space exploration. Miniaturization is okay too, because you start to get the docking ports, and which is sort of cool. And then we start to do some missions around space, but then we kind of want this at the same time, so you can maneuver with RCS. So for right now, I think this is the best one. I think we want space exploration. It gives us the press mat barometer, which is more science. We can add one more machine on there, and just like the thermometer, you only need one, and you can keep on reusing it. So, which is always kind of nice. Yeah. Okay. So let's research this. It's good. And then I think we should look at maybe just very simply taking the one that we went to the moon with. I think we should send an unmanned probe again. We'll make sure we got our science, and then we will look at sending manned probes. So let's just load. We have the moon orbiter. Yep. There it is. So the only thing I need to do is add a little bit of science to it. So I like to put my reusable stuff all together. So we're just going to take this and add this right here. Yeah, just one. Perfect. And you know what? I think that's it. I don't think we need to worry about doing too much more on this one. We got lots of delta V, as we know, from getting to the moon, and it's almost easier getting to Minmus. It takes more delta V to get to Minmus, but then to stop is way less, and then to land, like it's such a tiny little rock that it's easy to float around it. Okay, yeah, I think we're just gonna go. I'm happy with this one. Now let's see. Before we do this, we're gonna call this min-miss orbiter. Oh, save. Let's see if there's anything for contracts that we can do whilst we're flying along here. Excuse me. Oh, look at this. Should we do some of these things? You know what? We will do these. Science Kerbal, satellite polar orbit of Kerbal. There's a bunch here we can do now. No, no, no. Yes. Yeah, we can do that one too. Okay, so for right now, let's take... There's nothing to min-miss. That's unfortunate. Why don't we just get rid of this one? Now we're going to do temperature surveys. Ah, flyby min-miss. Yes. We are going to take that. Although, hold on, because that's going to stick around for a while. Do it. And yeah, see, like we tell you, like launch site. Oh man. So I think what we need to actually do. Let's go back here. Let's upgrade this because I want to take on a whole bunch of these. So it's only $75,000, and now I can take on all these because there's a lot of them here that are easy to do. So no. Yes, we want to do this. Yes. Yes, we want to take this survey around Kerbal. We want to test the thumper at the launch site. These are so easy to do. Here's another test the Terrier at the launch site. Easy to do. Take that one too. Ferry, no. Satellite around Kerbal. Yes, take that one as well. See, temperature surveys of the moon. So now we're starting to get a little easier. Like, I don't mind doing temperature surveys around min-miss or the moon. They're a lot easier to do than Kerbal. At least I find that. They want you to do it. Yeah, see, they want you to do it at heights as well. So you don't even have above. Yeah, see, we should probably consider doing that one as well. You get a lot of money and 9 science. All right, let's take that one too. Look at that. Okay, well, we determined what we're gonna be doing for the next 3 videos, anyways, I guess. So, first things first. Let's go to min-miss. I think that's what we're gonna do here. So, launch. We're good to go. Alright. So I could have changed configuration to put the boosters on the side now, but we know this works. Let's not reinvent the wheel here. We got lots of Delta V. Now, if memory serves, we just want to go straight up with this, maybe a little to the right, a little to the east, I should say. But not much. We just want to touch it. We really just want to get as high up in the atmosphere as we can to make our rockets a little more efficient. And switching over to the gimbaled rocket is definitely a big advantage here. Heading east a little bit now, that's fine. I don't mind being at about 45 degrees when I hit 12 kilometers, sort of my small rule of thumb that rarely ever applies, but that's kind of what I'm aiming for. We're not too bad. We're okay here. Whoop, whoop, whoop. So at this point, you want to flick out to here. We're doing all right. So I'd recommend not going above 80 kilometers. Just save yourself the energy until you figure out where the moon is, or actually min-miss in this situation. That's where we're going. We're going to min-miss, people. So we're getting into the upper atmosphere. Everything's getting quiet. Okay, so now we want to start pushing it down here. We don't want to go up too fast. So once we get to about 80 kilometers, we're going to turn it off. We also want to bring it back a little bit here. So what this means is that even though the rocket is going straight up-ish, you know, it's traveling at about a 45-degree angle with the Earth, I've got the nose pointing at the horizon. So I'm wasting energy, really, but I'm trying to get forward. I'm trying to go forward as opposed to up. So now I'm going to wait for me to get a little closer to the apoapsis. That's how we do for fuel here. Oh, we got to be just about out. Yeah. So we haven't got much left on this, but then we're going to switch over to the highly efficient, I can't remember what the heck this one's called. The Terrier. I want to call it the Poodle, but the Poodle is the big one. Okay, so let's time warp a little bit. We'll get up closer to the apoapsis. Now, you really don't want to go past the apoapsis. If you do, then you got to point your nose upwards to try and get vertical speed again. But in this situation, I think we should be okay. I am aiming to the right of 90 degrees because I want to pull this back. I want us to be going, although I'm headed to the moon. Or a min-miss again. Shoot. Whatever. Okay, so now we're doing alright. Oh, gotta kick that engine off. Woo! I think we can... This engine might be a little weak for aiming at the horizon. We might have to point upwards. We've only got to get to 2300. We have 6 seconds which to do it. Yeah, okay, we're going to be fine. He can point at the horizon. We're good. Good job. Good job, little engine. Little Terrier. Because beyond 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second, now we're going to pass that apoapsis, but we've only got to get to 2300. Yeah, see? Boom. Perfect. And 85, 81. Wow, that's... Oh, that was pretty good. That was very good. So now, we want to find min-miss. Where are you, min-miss? There you are. You're way out there. Set that as our target. How do we do for... We've almost always got it correct here. Okay, so yeah, we're off by 6 degrees. So once we get over to the down node... that's right, I can now add maneuvers. This makes it a lot easier for me to show you what I'm doing. So, what I'm trying to line up my planes, if you will. So I'm trying to match up so that the angle of my trajectory around Kerbal is the same as the angle of min-miss around Kerbal. That way you have a lot better chance of making an encounter. And this becomes much more important when you are going out to get planets. But it can be amplified here as well, and it's just more efficient if you're on the same plane. You can then kind of catch up with the moon or the min-miss at any given time around the plane, as opposed to if you are intersecting at one point, then you've got one shot to get that encounter. If that makes any sense at all. I'm not a teacher. Okay, so what I do is I line up my down node and my descending node and my ascending node. And then I back it up. Okay, well I got to back it up so I can see the entire orbit of min-miss. Okay, so I want to line up my down node and min-miss. Okay, so now I know what I need to do, but I can't see my own orbit around the... Oops, shit. I can't see my own orbit, so I want to pull this up. So where we're going. It's going to be like that. So I can use just the yellow line in the background there, so I went too far. So as you can see, we're going to need to correct for about 248 meters a second. Which, as you can see, we have tons. That'll put us down to about 1900 meters a second. So now here, now that we have... This game becomes much easier now. Now it's just about using the computers. We're just going to aim towards the node that it tells us to, which is over here. And now we can even do this. Oh, maybe I can't. Ah, it doesn't let me do it yet. Okay, that must be coming later on. At some point, you can accelerate to the next node. But I can't do that yet, but that's fine. So down the bottom there, you can see there's 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 1. We only need 11-second burn, so what I usually do is I try and line it up so half and half. So right now, I would do, it's 11 seconds, I try and do 5.5 seconds before, 5.5 seconds after. I was a little late, but that's okay. So I'm going to get rid of this. Now I just watch my down node. Wait, I want to get this to get to, you know, as close to 0 as I can. That might be about as good as we're going to get. Okay, so it's not waste energy. But that ended up being significantly more efficient than I thought. 2151. Yeah, so I thought we were going to be around 1900 left over, so that's good. That didn't take much. So now we're going to aim to get to Minmus. Where are you, Minmus? There you are. So I typically aim to catch it about there. So not quite 45%. I'd say like 40%, or 40 degrees, sorry. Not quite like, you know, if this is 90, you would think that this is 45 here. I think you want to be back about here. That's what I usually find when I'm aiming for Minmus. So if that's the case, then we want to be right about where just past the ascending node, maybe right about here. We want to add a maneuver. But we can also test this. I can show you. Oh, that's too far. Way too far. So I'm going to pull that back just a bit. Let's see. Yeah, see, I got an encounter there. 957, but it's not very good because I'm going way, way past. That means we're going to be flying past Minmus, which means we've got to slow it down. So let's see if we can slow this down a little more. Yeah, see? I didn't need to go nearly that fast. So we can slow it down, slow it down, slow it down. The most efficient way of doing this, there, see, is to get, I believe what it's called is a Hohmann transfer. The Hohmann transfer is where your arc gets up, and just as you're hitting 0 meters a second, you know, in vertical speed away from Kerbal, just as you're getting up, then the satellite that you're trying to link up with as it's going by picks you up in its gravity, and then you get sucked into it. That's the most efficient form of transferring, but I think I'm just about there. So how do we do? Yeah, so 1,000, so we're 1,400 kilometers. So if we speed up just a bit, we should get it just a little bit closer. 1,200. Can you see how that's working? So we're just pushing our transfer out too far, too far, too far. I want to slow it down just a little bit. Oh god. Oh, oh. How do we do here? Oh yeah, 17 kilometers. That's what we're doing. So now we're going to be 17 kilometers in an ideal world away. And when we get to Minmus, we're still going to have, based on this, we got 1,900 meters. We're going to have about 1,200 meters to go. Meters per second. 1,200 meters per second. Oh, so we got 12 minutes until this burns. So I move myself to my directional node where the computer tells me pointing my nose. We're going to speed up. You're going to see this rotate around. And it should end up almost on the... oh man, I can't remember the name of my vectors. Early in the morning when I'm doing this, so I'm a little tired. Okay, so we want to go here. Oh, I can't remember the name of these vectors. Prograde. It'll be facing prograde almost exactly, because that's all we used. So 38 seconds. So 38 seconds divided in half is, what is that? It's 19 seconds. So at about 19 seconds, we want to put on the gas. Here it is. And that way I'll be 19 seconds before the node, 19 seconds after the node, which should sort of equal out. And I think I can do some science. Oh, look at that. I did that by accident and realized I had the back thumper. Good stuff. So here comes our apoapsis way up. And you can see it goes fast here. So I usually shut it down now. Okay? And then just edge your gas out. Because you can go slow here. We don't need to be rocketing out to this thing, so to speak. Oh man, it's going to be perfect. Okay, so there's our encounter. We have a real-life encounter coming up, but I want to just see if I can visualize this for you guys a little bit. So right now, we're coming to here. We're going to be way far away, like 1,800 kilometers away. So you just want to speed up a little bit. So now we're at 1,400, 1,000 kilometers, 600 kilometers away. So we got probably a contact there, so there. So now we're going to be coming in on the backside. So it's just, this is where RCS works, because it's really small, just tiny little bursts of fuel, and it's good for correcting at small distances. But we don't have it yet, so I'm just using my tiny little engine as well. So how do we do here? We got we're going to be 120 kilometers. Is that what it says? Yeah. So let's get rid of that. Okay, so 132 kilometers. Let's change 133. That'll be affected until we get out of Kerbin's atmosphere here, or Kerbin's influence. Okay, so let's speed things up. Although I think I have one that is for science from data around. Okay, so let's take this here, because we actually have to do this anyway. So where are we? Yeah, this. We can do barometric pressure around Kerbin. Yep. Send that off. So we got that one. That's good. Okay, we completed that one. And fly by minutes. We're going to be achieving that one in a moment. Yeah, alright, great. So 3 science and 18,000 bucks for doing that. And we do it again once we get a little further away from Kerbin, so we can get high over Kerbin. So let's go ahead and speed this up a bit. Watch Kerbin fall away from us. There's the moon in the background as well. Alright, now we should see Minmus eventually. So let's just see how far away we are here now. Alright, so slow this down a little bit. Let's go ahead and see, are we high over Minmus yet? Or high over Kerbin, sorry. But we are 2,000 kilometers, gotta be. Okay. So, do this. High over Kerbin, yeah, great. And now, have I done this one high over Kerbin? I don't know if I have. Yes, I have. And then presumably I've done this one as well. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to save all that for Minmus as we approach, because it'll be high and low over Minmus, and then hopefully we're going to land on Minmus as well. Okay, so now we can speed things up here. Watch us travel out towards Minmus. Zoop. Past the moon's path. What are we coming up on here? Or it's just the moon's path. Is that what that is? Must be. Yeah, I guess so. What's that next one then? Ah, it's my satellite I put in Sat-1. Okay, and there's the moon. So what did I put in? That must have been another satellite I put in there. Yeah, okay. Just confused. I'm old. Confused. Scared. Okay. Coming up, coming up, coming up. Here comes Minmus. Flying along. See, just as we're slowing down, we're reaching the top of our peak. We're about to fall back towards Kerbin. We're going 0 miles or meters per second, which is not true. We're actually doing 80. But you can see it's approaching 0, right? For all you kids watching this and you're doing your calculus, your x-axis or your y-axis is approaching 0. And as that's happening, you're going to start falling back. It's like a parabola on the chart I'm sure you guys are going to draw. Just as it's about to fall back towards 0, Kerbin. Yeah, just about to fall back towards Kerbin. Minmus is going to swing around and pick us up. Here it comes. Okay, look at that, not bad, eh? So we're going to be going the wrong direction around it, but it doesn't really matter. Okay, so we're going to add a maneuver. And we're going to, oops, I want to make Minmus my focus. You just double click on it. So we're going to do 2 things. One, because we're 130 kilometers out, you can be really close to Minmus here. We're going to get rid of this maneuver. We're going to add one right here now. And what we're going to do is we're going to pull ourselves a little closer to min-miss. So you just want to aim. You're just going to pull this here, which means we're pushing our rocket to the right. You know, from our perspective, we're going to the right, which is going to make us closer to min-miss. So 36 kilometers. I want to go a little more. We're going to go 13 kilometers. Yeah, that's actually not bad. Maybe 10 kilometers. There. So I'll just get myself on the right node anyways. We can do this at any point. Sooner the better. Less energy the further away you are. So we're just going to really touch this. I'm going to shut that down because we now know what we're doing. We just got to watch this and shut it down whenever we want. I would think about 10 kilometers is what we want. Alright, close. Boop. Boop. There, good enough. 11 kilometers. It's perfect. And then we want to add another one here right at the periapsis, and we're just going to go to retrograde instead of prograde. So prograde is speeding up, retrograde is slowing down. So we're going to burn retrograde to our direction. And we want to bring this around. As you see, it's a tiny, tiny little burn. This is why coming to min-miss is almost easier than the moon. Because right now we're at about a 4. If we want to get into orbit, 144 kilometers isn't great. So I'm going to keep slowing down. I'm going to show you. It's not a lot. It's going to end up being like 6 seconds or something like that we need to burn for. Not even 4 seconds. Holy cow. So 43 kilometers. Let's get ourselves somewhat circled around this thing. 13 kilometers. Yeah, okay, perfect. So yeah, 5-second burn. 157 meters a second. We're going to have over 1,000 meters a second to land on this thing. We'll be able to land multiple times, I'll bet. Maybe twice, anyways. Yeah, this is great. And am I on the right path? Not quite. I'm not quite going to be able to land in here, but I can redirect as we're coming in. Because you really, min-miss is all about landing in these lakes. You land here, this is probably all one. You go over here, there'll be another one. They're all over the place. One back here, yeah. They're not actually lakes. They use, you know, they're just flat plains, if you will. But each area has its own science. So you want to try and land as many of these you can while you're here. But ultimately what we could do is land, say, here, and then jump up and land on here, and those should technically be 2 different zones. And again, it takes very little energy with a tiny little ship like this, a tiny little vessel like this, to move around min-miss, which is why we should be able to get some decent science here. Speaking of which, we accomplished 2 things here. Yeah, good stuff. Let's get rid of that. Fly by min-miss, 8 science, $1,910,000 for doing that. That is awesome. That will fund a bunch of stuff in the future. And we are not done yet, people. So now what I should do is see if there's any... let's see here, fly by min-miss, yeah, okay. Test the Terrier, we don't need that. Kerbal, moon. Alright, so what I'm going to actually do... well, okay, let's get ourselves in orbit, and then I'm going to go back to the command center and see if there's any contracts for getting science around min-miss, which there should be. And I would hope there are. And if there are, we'll take those too. Alright, so we're going to speed up. We've got an hour and 30 minutes, hour and 10, hour, 50, 40, 30, 20, 10. Okay, slow down a little bit. We do not want to fly by Kerbal. So this thing's going to speed up as it gets in there. We can just kind of watch our probe come in. We can just slow it down as we need. Okay, coming in. Oh no, I forgot to take science. Whatever. Shit. Okay, so... So we're not going to do a perfect orbit this time. I'm going to... Well, I'll do it in 2 different series here. I'm going to slow it down so we just get an orbit. So I want to swing back out and around here. So I have a high orbit. Yeah. We don't need that much. Even say 500. Which will take a long time to come around. Well, with time warp, doesn't seem like that much. So that way I can get my high over min-miss science as well. I should really just look that up to see what the actual height is so I don't have to waste any time for you guys. But there it is. There's min-miss. How beautiful is that, eh? I love this. So I'll just change the way I am looking at it. Yeah, how cool is that? Another planet, people. Or not a planet. Moon. So, let's do some science. Yep, go ahead. Send that off. Yeah, got an orbit, so we get some science and money for that for free. That's kind of nice. Let's get rid of this. Get off there. I don't know what you're doing. Okay. How are we doing for energy? 161. So now we want to take temperature scan. 16 science. That's great. Okay, we got that. Now, barometric pressure. Blood pressure. 24 science. I'm just going to keep that data for now because I want to wait for my electric charge to build up a bit, which it will. No worries there. Maybe turn SAS off, does that help? A little bit. Okay, turn that on. Now we can review this data we just got, which is near min-miss, and we're going to transmit this data. Alright, and then we're going to do it all again as we get a little bit higher over min-miss. So, as you see, we're out here now. Let's just zip along. Get to the apoapsis. We're traveling slow. Yeah, 50 meters a second. Come on now. Okay, so jump out here now. Let's do barometric pressure. Yeah, so now we're high over min-miss, so 15 science. Send that. While that's sending, let's log this temperature. You gotta wait for this to completely close before you send it, or it doesn't send. Okay, boom, it's gone. Let's transmit science. Yep. Good stuff. Let's do a little more of mystery goo. 7.5 science. Do we have enough energy to do this? Oh yeah, for sure. We'll send this. Transmit data. Alright, that's good. And then we're going to wait to do this one until we're on min-miss. So we'll get a lot of science to do that. Although the trick, I don't have enough energy. I should have almost added another battery because I knew I was close on the moon. And then once I land, I can do this in another spot. Okay, so now we need to decide how we're going to come down here. See, now that we can land here in this little flatbed. Because landing on these things are so easy as well. Okay, let's see how it looks as we're coming around. So we may not even be close. We'll have to just kind of land in some random location. But there's lots of these flat areas. Well, okay, so let's do this. Let's just add a maneuver. So we got lots of fuel. Bring the apoapsis in. 22 kilometers. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so we're just going to do that so we can circle around until we get a nice, suitable landing spot. Well, that's really not too bad. I could probably figure that out. No, okay. Well, do we do that and then we just head north? I don't know. Should we? Can I get there? Can I even see it? It's over here. Yeah, you know, let's just do it. Let's just go for it. So let's switch to the surface. So I want to get this pointed towards... there, stop. It pushes away from you. Oh, there you go. So again, it's kind of like cat and mouse. I just want to, this, when your retrograde marker pushes away from you as you accelerate. So what you want to do is you want to push yourself to the opposite side. Let's say this marker is over here somewhere. You want to burn on this side of it to push it towards here. Now, alternatively, if you're trying to make you speed up to go towards something, this becomes attracted to this. So if if it's over here and you want to get to here, you'd have to burn on this side of here, and it'll slowly pull itself over here. So like kind of like a little game of cat and mouse, like I keep on saying. So for now, we're just going to let this drift downwards. We'll take what may come here, because I think it'll be like, some generic part of Minmus, and then hopefully I can shoot to the north here. Okay. How far are we at? 6 kilometers. So now we want to see our shadow coming in, so you can see the shadow now. It's going to be over here somewhere. I want to slow down a little bit. 70 meters a second is pretty quick. We don't want to crash us too soon. Lots of fuel so far. Now, yeah, I'm being pretty inefficient with how I'm doing this, but that's alright. We don't need to be too efficient, we just don't want to crash. We want to be safe. I'm supposed to, sorry. I think maybe, yeah, there. Okay, I thought I saw it popping in and out. So we want to wait for that. We'll speed up a little bit here. It's not going to let me speed up. I wonder if there's one that's like flying over the plains or whatever. Oh, shit. Log temperature? No. This one? No. Get out of there. Where is it? There it is. So I'm watching my shadow come in. As it reaches the bottom of my vessel, I now know that I'm at ground. So again, this is getting just a little off center, which means we have horizontal speed as well as vertical speed. Because that's what this is. This is a combination of the two. This surface 17 meters a second. But really, because I've got this going straight up and down, it's really almost all vertical speed. Okay, so far so good. I think I used to use what's called Kerbal Engineer as opposed to MechJeb, but MechJeb's pretty good. It's really the same thing, but I like the formatting here. It's kind of nice. Yeah, we don't want to be going much faster than, say, 2 meters a second as we put our engine into the dirt here. That's a little extreme. I don't want to be going this slow, but that's alright. Nice. Okay, so, yay! We made it to Minmus, which I think gives us a milestone too, right? Suborbital surface, yeah, so another 4 science, another 50, almost $60,000 there. It's more prestige. We're doing great. So now, let's do some science, people. And we might as well do this here and now. Yeah. Yeah, 43 science. Man almighty, that's good stuff. So, let's send it off. Let's see if we got enough electricity to pull it off. Oh, yeah, okay. Just enough. Well, not just enough. We had 60 extra. So that's good. So now we got to speed it up here, though. And you can see the shadows changing. We're getting late in the day here. We need to move along if we want to get to the north. I don't like doing this stuff in the dark. Oh, interesting. Why are you not working? Oh, haha, I had a time warp on, didn't realize it. Okay, log pressure. Another 30 science there. This is great. We are going to have enough, I would think, to get our 200 and, was it 25 we wanted? 225? I think it was, right? 90, 90, and 45, yes. So yeah, we might have enough now to put men on these planets as well. Not men, Kerbals. Kerbalets. Log, send. How are we doing here? 146. Whew, it's a longer video. Okay, I want to try and do this quickly here so I'm not boring you guys too much. Okay, so let's do another one of these. Yeah, send that off. Transmit data. How are we doing here? Yeah, 100. Great. So now we want to head directly to the north, which is here on the compass. So I'm just going to spin this around to make my life a little bit easier. My own orientation. So we're just going to head straight north, right? If I'm not mistaken, we want to go from, where the heck are we? Here to here. Maybe like a slightly northeast. We want to land in these planes with 700 meters a second. Like here is what we want to do. Let's just see where that takes us. So you're going to see this coming up. Okay, a little more east. Nope, a little more north, a little more north. How did I do that wrong? Oh yeah, east went the wrong direction. Alright, good enough. Right there. So we only added 112 meters a second, which means we got to take the 112 meters a second off. Ah, well, lots. Oh, why didn't that work? Go in. So we'll watch ourselves kind of zip. That wasn't very efficient. I could have landed much closer, like over here or something, but I went to the wrong direction when I went east. I actually went west by accident. So let's speed this up. Off we go, inefficiently launching ourselves way too high. Should have been skimming the earth here, but that's alright. See, now we want to burn to the east as well, because I have to, I'm going to land out here if I don't. So let's just have a look at this. We're going to burn due east. Now we're risking our fuel a little bit, but that's alright. Okay, so now we want to remove all vertical speed and all horizontal speed, because I think we're over, right? I would think, yeah, I'll go a little bit longer here. So again, this pushes away. So because it's out here, if I was to burn here, this pushes even further away from where we want it to be. So I want to burn, excuse me, over here. If I burn here, it's going to push my retrograde marker to be 0, which is what we want, because that means that we're not moving sideways, we're only moving up and down. So I'm trying to remove all horizontal speed. I want to switch to surface. So this is a combination of our horizontal and vertical speed. As you can see, I'm kind of just gingerly pushing it towards 0. Alright, once crosshair gets there, boom, shut it down. And you can kind of correct a little bit if you want, like. As you can see, I'm correcting my vertical speed too. So now we're falling straight up and down at 29 meters a second, which will speed up as we get closer, because it's, it's gravity. We're falling towards min-miss. Well, we can speed up a lot, because it doesn't take much. It's a very weak atmosphere. Or not a weak atmosphere, sorry, weak gravity. It's a small little body, so it doesn't speed up too fast, and we can cut our speed very quickly. In fact, we have enough energy. We could probably go do this again and just do barometer and, well, actually, what do I have? 1, 2, 3, yeah, because we're out of goo at that point. So I could do another one if I wanted to, but I think I'll cut it out here as soon as we land. We'll just do a bit of quick science. I'll let you guys go, and then the next time, hopefully, we'll have enough science then that we can put some men in these things, Kerbals in these things, and take them back to min-miss. That's what I think we should be doing. Do a return trip. Okay, where's my shadow? It's got to be close. There it is, coming in. Or 80 meters a second. There we go. That was highly inefficient. And you can see I gave myself some vertical speed there too, so you want to take that off. There. So now our horizontal speed, 7 meters a second. So, can't speed up though. Should Oh, shit. Shit, shit, shit. Oh, I did not mean to do that. Let's just do this to speed things along. Actually thrusting towards the ground faster to speed things up. I accidentally hit the wrong button and almost launched ourselves back into space. Alright, so now we're coming in, 20 meters a second. Going quick, but it won't take us long to peel that off. 5, 6, okay, yeah, doing well. Let's push that back into there. Yeah. Like I said, now it doesn't really matter if we knock the engine off on this. I don't need to be perfect. Woo! Pretty good. Okay, so let's do some science again. So we're gonna log treasure. Yep, send that off. 30. Where are we? Oh, I forgot to read what that was. That doesn't matter. There she goes. Lesser flats. That's where we are. We're in the lesser flats before. All right. And I didn't think to look at where we were before earlier. I was just showing you all that. So we got to do this as well. So observe our mystery goo. So this is where it tells you here. So observation from Minmus lesser flats. Another 15 science from that as well. Transmit data. This was a roaring success. We still got 320 meters a second. So I could do this again, but I like to sort of do everything I can all at once. If I go to another area and do that, let's say, the greater flats, if I can find that next, then I'll only be able to do temperature and barometric pressure. I wouldn't be able to do the goo and this, which, I'm already skipping this. All of a sudden, it becomes less efficient later on to do all these, missions to try and pick up little bits and pieces that you miss. I'd sooner do it all at once with one vessel. So anyways, that's it for now. I thank you very much for watching. I'm Captain Canuck. If you like what you saw, click the like button. If you'd like to see more, follow me, please. And yeah, we'll definitely be doing more Kerbal Space programs. So I hope you have a great day. Talk to you soon. Bye.